am here today with Tami and Keven Lackey from Acclaimed Heating, Cooling, and Furnace Cleaning. And this is the first time we've ever sat down with a couple. And so I'm so excited to hear that dynamic of being in business together and hearing more about your story. So thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Yeah.
Yes. So 30 years in business?
Yes.
Yeah, in November.
In November, it'll be 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know, how did it even get started? And did you buy the business? Did you start the business? Was it always the dream? Did you fall into it? So where does the story start?
I would go back a little bit further.
Okay.
Our story started when I was 17 years old and met Keven.
Okay.
And then Keven was 18. So we've been together for a long time.
Yeah.
And on our second date, we talked about how many kids we wanted to have and when we wanted to get married. Who does that? Oh, and also, the very first time I met him, we did not like each other at all. I thought he was arrogant and he thought I was not very
But by the
nice.
second date, you're talking kids.
Well,
Kind of
actually,
the first date.
Yeah, kind of the first date, actually.
Okay. Did you both know right away that you found the one? Did it feel like that?
Like that.
Yeah.
Like
You found the one?
Yeah. So the ski trip happened and we were on the ski trip. Weren't fond of each other. Both had a mutual friend. I got the last, was it you or me that got the last seat on the bus on the way back?
I got the last seat because I had to sit beside you.
Yes. And you weren't very happy that you sat beside me. And then we talked the whole way back. And by the whole way back, it was like, well, this is who we'll be with forever. But it really wasn't our first date.
Okay.
So, and I think that from an entrepreneurial standpoint, the fact that we had that connection and made a decision fast, I always say we both have a little bit of a screw loose in terms of the excitement that we've created for ourselves in our lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did your family support each other? Support that romance and how fast it moved? And was that an okay thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at risk of not being politically correct, we don't come from strongly religious backgrounds, faith inspired for sure.
Yeah.
And, I always remark at, your dad never had an argument, never had a side eye, nothing like that. So we've just been extremely lucky and very blessed to have grown up in the families we have, the siblings and everything around us.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
Because many people say, "Oh, our kids are young. They're young.
Yeah.
They'll outgrow that. It's a new romance." I'm like, "How old are they?" And they're like, "Oh, they're 21 or 22." I'm like, "It could stick."
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be cool if it did? Because we have morphed into the people we are today together.
Yeah.
So you're a young married couple, and where does the business come from?
So I graduated from NATE in the Urban Regional Planning program.
Okay.
And when I graduated, Alberta was going through transformation with Ralph Klein decimating the public service because of the massive debt and the oil not doing so well. So I went into a program 3 years prior, knowing that everybody always had jobs coming out of that, to nobody in my graduating class ever getting a job in that.
Wow.
And so I had been prepping as an entrepreneur as a waiter at Red Lobster for 5 years. And so that was great. And at the end of the day, that taught me more about entrepreneurial skill set and mindset than anything else I've ever done.
Restaurant.
Working in the restaurant was great, but then it came time we purchased a house and now it's time to move on to the next chapter. And I don't think I want to be a waiter when I'm 54. So I'm a very hands-on person. And so carpentry is something that I love to do, building things of any type, just with creativity and not caring about it other than my creativity on it. Love it.
Okay.
Our next door neighbor at the time had a small construction company, and I was slated to start there with him in a day or two. And then I answered an ad, and at that time it was probably the Edmonton Examiner.
Yeah.
Right? And it was one of those jobs where it was like, earn up to $500,000 a year, come to this information session, something along those lines.
Yeah.
And so I just fell into working with the company doing duct cleaning.
So that's what the information session ended up being about.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much.
Yeah.
And so I'd gone in for the interview, lasted a very, very quickly. It was in October, which is the very height of the demand for that.
Yeah.
And I came out of that, probably went to work there the next day. And 2 days later, I think it was my birthday. And I came back and I think I said to Tanya, I said, I think we should start a duct cleaning company. You should see what these guys do. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but why? And it was like, I think I can do this. And so it was kind of like meeting on the bus. It's like, okay.
Well, and I was working at a pharmaceutical wholesaler at that time.
Okay.
And I was in the purchasing department, and I had a really cool mentor at the time, giving me a lot of, he would just say, hey kiddo, I want to show you something about programming. And it was great. At that point, it was about Excel and this and that. It was basically Zapier now, back in the 80s. It would have been actually the early 90s. So Kevin's like, I'm going to get a job. We should open a duct cleaning company. And at that point, I was newly pregnant. But I have a lot of faith in this guy. Because if he thinks it's a good idea, it's going to be a good idea. And so then when, you worked for a couple of years at learning some stuff, and then we started getting the ground rolling for that. Now, how hard at that point? I'm like, how do we get customers? And you're like, well, it's so easy. Like, I see them do it, and they just call people. And so I'm like, he's like, we can call people. And yeah, you can call people. They don't really want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And so it was a really interesting learning journey of life.
So going through the white pages.
Yes.
And picking up the phone. Was that the marketing strategy?
One of them.
Yeah.
One of the many marketing strategies, because we don't know his business.
Yeah.
I have no any kind of post-secondary education.
Yeah.
Everything I've learned is from gleaning off the knowledge of others and people sharing that. So it was really ironic. It's the entrepreneur journey.
Yeah.
1.0.
So you start the business.
Yeah. And it was just myself, and we had a duct cleaning truck that we bought because we have very supportive families. My family had given us a small loan to invest in that.
Purchase of the first truck.
Yeah, exactly. And then I just went out there when we had appointments and did everything that I could to maximize the opportunity of what that was. And I'm very much a learner by doing.
Yeah.
And so the most that I learn is by all my mistakes. And so I'm an expert at making mistakes.
Yes.
And trying to make them less than 10 times. And then moving on. Yeah.
I would love for you to just pause there. And so for the person who has a business idea right now and is in the, I'm going to be thinking about it, and I'm going to have the business plan, and I have to have my branding, and I have to have all of this perfect. That was not your path. What would you say to that person who I'm going to say is almost paralyzed by actually doing what's going to require to make that successful? I think you said something really important there, Keven, right? Like you got to work.
Yeah. I got to work, and it's not as though we didn't do any pre-planning.
Yeah.
So we were deliberate.
Yeah.
The time that we started the business, Yellow Pages was everything.
Yeah.
It's the reason why we are called Acclaimed with the A on it.
With an A.
Yeah. And that's why. And so there was some deliberation and thought behind it for sure.
Yeah.
But I think in business, until you do it, you don't know.
Yeah.
And from an entrepreneurial standpoint, knowing so many people, I think the phrase that I was ignorant to what I didn't know. Yeah. And otherwise I wouldn't have done it.
Yes.
And so from a faith perspective, there just has to be a faith and an inherent trust in yourself, in your partner, and the people that believe in you to just go and do it and get it done.
So good.
It's such an exercise of mindset.
Yeah.
Of what's possible. And also, when you talk about a business plan, we still don't have a business plan. We've never had a business plan, but I don't recommend that for everybody. I actually recommend that for very few, because that's kind of crazy. You should be more like it would have been helpful to have a little more business, but it also probably would have scared us.
Well, I actually, and again, unpopular advice, but I usually tell people you don't need a business plan, you need a vision.
Yeah.
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 because it's the vision that's going to wake you up. The business plan is going to help you make some better decisions. But I think people get paralyzed in that business plan because it's like, whoa, can I really handle this? Whereas the vision and that desire is what's going to keep you making the phone calls when people are hanging up, right?
Such a funny thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like getting into business and a lot of reflection. Like try something. Don't give up until you're sure, like you've looked at all the avenues of it, and then move on. Like adapt and grow and look back and just really evolving and being aware of that. I think was huge. It still is.
It still is. I love the fact that you brought that up because I've not thought of this before, but I've been to your incredible sessions and your weekends. And what I didn't realize until right now is that back when I was 24 and probably when I was about 12, dreaming about, I don't know what for business, because that's who I am naturally, is I would have had a vision, a very clear vision of the success. I know that I can do this without knowing that I was formulating a vision that I now realize today. And I think for me, if I didn't have that internal vision of success, confidence in my partner, confidence that we can make this happen, absolutely, it wouldn't have happened with me because I can't create a business plan. It's not the way I think. But vision.
Yeah.
Love it.
Amazing. How was the first year in business?
Hilarious and stressful.
Yeah, it's been a journey that has never had a long time without stressors.
Right.
And in the business, and then, coordinating that with the family of the 6 children that we have together. And there's always something. And in people's lives, I think there's a shoe that will drop from somewhere and you don't know where. And so it doesn't take that long for a shoe to drop from somewhere.
Yeah.
Either in the personal life, as busy as we are and we were, or business.
Did you sleep much the first year? Or
last 30?
The last 30.
Like the last 30. The last 30. Like, I don't know that the first year it was any different than this year in some ways.
It's just different stress.
It's different stress. The first year, we didn't really know what we could lose. Like we really
didn't have as much to lose.
No,
almost,
and we actually, and now we have, 30 plus employees. We have a lot of incredible clients that have supported us over the last 30 years. We have 30, I always think we have 30 families that we support, which is before we had one family to support.
Yeah.
And now we have 30, which is, I wouldn't say it's just different stresses and realization and opportunity.
Yeah.
We had a lot smaller opportunity in the first year, and we have a much larger opportunity now.
Yeah.
What was the growth curve like? Did it grow fast? Was it kind of like a grind in the beginning and then all of a sudden you got traction? What was that growth like?
It was really interesting growth, and my memory is not as good as Tammy's, but I think the first year or 2 years were difficult. Once I found out what we could do, I developed my skill set on different things than I had when we first started the business. So I started to learn a lot about air quality, about humidifiers, and started to install different things in people's houses as a bolt-on complement.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed what I did, but as an entrepreneur, more than a tradesperson, but not a business person, an entrepreneurial mindset, I didn't want to stay on the truck. I was very interested in having other people do the work and growing that. So I think in the first 5 years, 6 years, we had 3 duck trucks running. Is that right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that throughout the first few years, Kevin was on the truck and I would be with the kids, like answering the cell phone, pushing on the swing, booking an appointment. Like I remember the first time the phone rang and I heard the phone ring. And it was a new line that we just plugged in from TELUS and it was ringing. And I said, Kevin, it's ringing. And he said, well, answer it. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like I had no script. I had no idea. What are our prices? What are we doing? And it was like this. And a lot of it was like, you just be yourself.
Yeah.
And you're humble and you share with people the reality. Like, you know what? Can I just take a moment? I'm just gonna grab my pen and paper. Like, I didn't pretend. There's no faking with me. I don't fake really well. So you kind of get what you get, and people appreciate that.
People connect to that, right?
Yeah.
That authenticity,
They
that
do.
vulnerability.
Yeah. I think that when you pretend to be something you're not, people see through that really fast. They know what's going on. You just haven't shared it.
You said something really interesting around, I didn't have the tradesman or tradesperson mindset.
Yeah.
It wasn't the business mindset, it was the entrepreneur mindset.
Right.
And the ability to differentiate between those three. So many people think, well, I'm really good at my craft.
Right.
I'm a really good chiropractor. I'm a really good mechanic. So I'm going to go open a business. Very different to be good at your trade or good at your trade than to own a business.
Yes.
And then lots of entrepreneurs who don't cultivate the business acumen, or they don't have the operator mindset. And if they don't know how to hire for that, they really struggle, right? So it's lots of ideas that can't necessarily get executed on.
Yeah.
So I like that, differentiating the three, and all of them are important. You need all three of those, right? To run a successful business.
I think you do. And I really like the fact that you touched on that, because it's not just tradespeople. It's people that are great at their craft.
Yes.
And, having been in many business groups and different mentoring opportunities, one of the questions that comes is, I can't wait until I can hire the operations manager because things are just going to be great. Because certainly my mindset was, if we just had this, it would be this. If it would just be this, it would be this. And I didn't love being in the field doing the work after a certain period of time. And so that was a good thing for me. But a lot of people that I talk to, they love what they do.
Yeah.
If you're a plumber and you love your job, if you're a small business owner and you have 2 or 3 employees, maybe 5 or 6, but you're directly involved in the business every day, out in the field, selling things and keeping the crews busy and giving the customers what they need. If you love that, I feel as though now's not the time to expand.
Yeah.
You love what you do.
Yeah.
And stay there, because the notion that if you hired another 3 people, then you'd be happier, it's rarely the case.
Yeah, it's that chasing happiness piece, unless it's the vision, right?
Yeah.
And so where that desire is coming from, if it's I'll be happy when, or that's a chase, right? Which usually doesn't lead to where we want it to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And sometimes with like the growth, well, I think that there have been some years, in the first year, 2 years of business, we probably made more money personally than we did in some other years, because it was small and tight, and then you stretch.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so then you stretch, and then it's like, we'll get this and this, but why are we wanting that and that? Because it does add more stress, or it could not, depending on the right people in place. And I think that for us, it was for years we go to the accountant, and he'd say, Tami, let me look at this. It's like you've bought yourself a career. You're not paying any tax. And I said, but look, I don't have to pay any taxes. He's like, because you're not making any money. And I thought that was great. And then I was like, yeah, but that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
And so then it was like, okay, what am I hearing? What is he saying? Who do we need to bring in our life, in our lives, to change that? And I think that's the biggest learning that we've had over the years, or for me anyway.
Yeah.
Which is bringing in and drawing in people from your world that are so smart, and that you can learn from them and be open and vulnerable and share the questions that you have. Instead of telling people what you know, ask the questions that you're needing answered.
I think that is so important, Tami. And you're not meant to have all of the answers, and you don't have to be an expert in accounting and in operations and in duct cleaning, and hire good people. Yeah. And ask for help. Really important.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things you're really passionate about, is the leadership piece and the training your team. And so talk a little bit about the culture you guys have created.
Oh, well, that's the funnest part.
Yeah.
Sometimes I say we're kind of an arranged marriage. Well, we're not kind of an arranged marriage. Every people that works with us, we bring these people together.
Okay.
And we choose who they hang out with because it's from our core values. We look when we hire people.
I've never heard this before. It's said this way, but like you basically arrange the marriage of your team.
Yeah.
Because you're going to sit next to this person for 8 hours a day.
Yeah, this is your new spouse.
Yeah.
This is your work spouse.
Yeah.
And you want harmony.
Yeah.
And be able to glean information from each person and bring their talents in. And so we started a few years ago doing something called True Colors. So when new people come in, we do True Colors. And so to show everybody's what their makeup are, so you can see it, and then you can appreciate what makes people thrive, the stresses, and appreciate everyone's differences because of how they complement who you are and what the value they bring to the team. So that was really a big thing.
So what difference did that make when people started to know each other in a different way? What happened?
Appreciation of differences. Yeah. And acknowledging it.
To frustration.
Yeah. Would you say?
I would say most people have never gone through that before.
Yeah.
And so when we bring people in for an interview, most people have not done any kind of a personality assessment.
Yeah.
And so it's really quick and dirty.
Yeah.
Most people really like it.
Yeah.
I get jazzed by that. Like, I really love it. And so very, very true. Tami and I, when we do that, Tami's really, really high, very, very high in blue, which is not the emotional, but
Yeah, be careful.
the, no, but
He's not wrong.
well, I say it like this when I walk people through and explain to them, because we have it front and center in one of our rooms where everybody actually has a pie chart of what they are.
Okay.
And I say, this type of person's a high blue. If you think you're hurting somebody's feelings, you're going home with a pit in your stomach, and they probably haven't hurt the person's feeling.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're a D, it's like, yeah, you probably hurt that person's feeling, but if you ask them to say sorry, the sorry that you get is, you know what, I am so sorry that you're stupid. And so then let's move on with our relationship.
Yeah.
In addition to those, I'd love to share about what happens sometimes on outboarding and what I've started to do with a little bit of, not with what I call a stay interview. But when I ask people, tell me what you like most about your job. And this is the field staff.
Yeah.
I like the people I work with. So my next question is, that is wonderful, but doesn't mean anything to me. Tell me, what is it that you like about that person? Oh, he just makes the day just go by. He's just nice to be with. Like, tell me a little bit more about that. And it almost always comes down to, he's hilarious. He makes me laugh. And that's why the day goes fast.
Mm-hmm.
So from a cultural standpoint, as you arrange some of these marriages, that's what, from a field staff perspective, that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
It's not chasing money and all those things.
Mm-hmm. I want to have a good time when I go to work and feel good about who I hung out with all day and go home feeling good about it.
Yeah. And serving the clients. Like when I do the onboarding, it's important that people, I spend a lot of time talking about the privilege that we get to be in people's homes. And it's a very intimate thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our technicians are in almost every one of the rooms when they do duct cleaning. When they do an installation of a furnace or AC, they have to go around and check the vents and make sure there's good airflow. Service technician will do the same thing, moving around. And it's a privilege to be in. They could choose anybody.
What a great perspective.
Well,
Like it's an intimate experience.
super
It is.
intimate.
Right?
Yeah. And so moving through people's homes with respect and kindness and acknowledgement of that this is a privilege. And it's interesting and cool to watch people see you watch the change of how the impact that they're making is in that. It's huge. It's not a job.
Yeah.
They're actually, there's impact.
It brings meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want purpose?
Aww.
Yeah.
I imagine with everything that you've put in place with culture that you have very loyal employees. Do you have people that have been with you for a long time?
Yeah, we have a few employees that are 15 years and 10 years. And then people move on to different ventures.
Absolutely.
And it's super cool that I never really think of it as like a disloyalty.
Yeah.
I just moving on to our thoughts are, when you're here, be here because you want to be here.
Yeah.
And when it's time to go, it's great. It's it's a natural progression of life, kind of like your kids moving in your house.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't have to be forever. While you're here, let's just do some good stuff.
I love that.
Yeah.
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 And in an industry where I imagine there's quite a bit of turnover, to be able to create that, let's do some good together.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make some impact. And even in our industry, people learn in the field different things and they get to experience. So it might be in residential, but they want to experience commercial, or they want to do HVAC. Now they want to go do refrigeration, which we now do. But for years, we didn't have anybody that could support that. So it's like, great. Your kids are going off, learning some new things somewhere else. It's great.
Yeah. How's the dynamic been between the two of you? Being in business together, being married, raising 6 kids. Do you have decision-making processes? Do you have like no shop talk rules? Like, what are some of the things that you've put in place that's created your success?
So for me, and I think our kids' perspective, shop talk is something that we haven't been the most successful keeping out of the house.
Yeah.
And coming home and one of us is making dinner and so I'll be home at 5:30, you've got dinner taken care of, and then it's 5:45 and 6 o'clock. And both of us can relate to that as entrepreneurs. And I think that because we can relate to that as entrepreneurs, we give ourselves a pass where we didn't have each other as business partners. Another business partner in some cases would say, hey, look, we need to talk about this. So I think that's been a really great thing for us. It's been an amazing life, an amazing adventure, but it's very different for me having the company, operating the company with my best friend and my wife, because our relationship is different than if it was just a business partner. The reason that I like you and love you so much after 37 years is because it's very, very different. I've had a front row seat watching who you've become, and there is no state of, needing or wanting to call you to task on things that maybe I would if it was a business partner. Because being happily married and having a great family, and when you talk about vision, I think one of the most precious things to me is when I look into my future, my vision is always with you by my side. And so I think that running the business together, that would be easy to jeopardize, and why it's so rare, because most people say, what? You guys operate the company together? What? For 30 years? I could never do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun for me because you've become an incredibly different, accomplished person in areas that I never would have seen you become unless we were in that state.
Well, I used to, for years and years and years and years, would say, oh, I'm Tami and my husband owns Acclaimed Heating, Cooling and Furnace Cleaning, and I help out. And Kevin would say, please don't say that. Please don't say that. Like, that's not the case. But I felt like, because I wasn't doing it full time because I was raising 6 kids.
Yeah.
And Acclaim was my side hustle, along with volunteering a ton in the community for different events. I felt like I was basically running Acclaim off the side of my desk, or like kitchen sink kind of thing. It didn't really feel like I wasn't really doing, I was doing a lot.
You've always done so much. And from an entrepreneurial standpoint, I think we both said this. We both are entrepreneurial in our spirit, not just myself, but Tami's just very clever ideas and can implement the way I can't. But I think that one of the really critical things is that I have ideas and push the envelope. We should do this. We should do this. We should do this. Just like a really common entrepreneurial spirit. I can get things 90% of the way and they don't get pushed across the line. So where we are, what we do today is because of me pushing that envelope. The only reason we've been able to stay in business past 6 months is everything to do with you.
Well, that's not entirely true at all.
I feel it
says
is.
that silliness, but anyway, that is
But
very.
you need both of you.
We need both. Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah, and we wouldn't be. We would not have started a business if it wouldn't have been for him.
Yeah.
Because I would have been like, I could be really happy employee somewhere. Yeah. Like I like the rules. It's very comfortable with that space, but I have a very exciting life because of this guy. And we were doing things that we would never have done had he not had the vision of, and also like to run in the space of like kind of like sometimes likes to run with scissors, and it's on the edge of a little bit reckless, but interesting because it makes things move to places and do things that I would not think are possible, and we get to go into zones that would not be possible had you not been that personality.
I just love Tammy's state of mind and the way that she thinks because, life is exciting because of the squirreliness. And we wouldn't be where I am. Running with scissors, but I don't know what kind of scissors they are. And
Are they
whatnot.
the blunt kind that you get in kindergarten?
Yeah,
No.
They're the seamstress ones that no one should be using sometimes, and it's like, okay, we're doing some magical stuff here because of what you're pulling out and doing.
I just want to
Yeah.
reflect back to you guys.
Yeah.
Because so often when I see people with relationship visions and they're like, hey, my partner doesn't support me, or I'm struggling, or it's not going well, one of the reasons is we get so interested in what we don't like about the other person and what's driving us crazy, and we're nitpicking and we're spiraling and stacking all of that. And just what you've demonstrated here in a few minutes of being able to see each other's strengths and gifts and want each other to hear that is a master. Like you just gave us a master's class in relationship, is to look for the good and to see the good, right? And I'm sure there's been your moments, but it's a choice. When you think about your growth journey, how important has it been to put yourself in rooms with other entrepreneurs or thought leaders, or to invest in yourself? How important has that been, and what has that created in life and in business for you?
Oh gosh. So how important it is it wouldn't have been an intentional plot to do. Like that's not the goal. I'm not doing this because I need this and it will make my business bigger and my life bigger. It was so organic. The impact, I can't even possibly imagine my life without every piece of that pie that's come in, like the community of support when we were raising our family. Our community is huge.
Yeah.
And I know that if something happened, I got my people. In business, the same thing. We have I call my bundle of guardian angels, and I've got a small little bundle of guardian angels. I got a big bundle, but these are people that I know I can trust, and nothing as strategic or intentional of I need to get this and this and this. Yeah. I think I do see that when I'm doing the Edmonton Chamber, doing the coffees or different events, or even Synergy, where people are you can tell they're in networking mode for the purpose of business growth. And I feel sad that they're missing an opportunity of meeting people for personal growth, because it's so much richer for longevity. Right. And that's what I feel so fully, that I can't possibly imagine doing that with that being so narrow-minded. It's a lost opportunity.
Got it.
Yeah. For me, I think it had to be 1, 2, 3 jump, because as an introvert, I don't love going into social situations. And so for me, I had to learn to, 1, 2, 3 jump, and then go and do it. And that was inspired by Tami, who's more extrovert than I am, and socially quite different. And you've brought me up to where I am today. But I think that if you're introverted, that you have to learn to get out of your comfort zone. Yeah. And by not surrounding you with the right people, it's difficult to have the confidence to be able to do that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was critical for me, surrounding myself with the right people, that it was okay to 1, 3, 5 jump.
Yes.
You can go.
Yeah, and I also think that the other part of it is lean in with curiosity and just be curious about people's stories.
Yeah.
People there's so many things that I've learned over my time as a parent, as a business owner, as a woman in the HVAC industry, as a wife, now a grandmother, just by just being curious. And people are so generous with their information and sharing their knowledge. It's the coolest thing.
Yeah. Amazing. You could look back and say something to that 18 and 19-year-olds,
When we first met, 17, 18.
17, 18, and maybe like 21, 22, right?
Yeah.
But looking back, what would you tell your younger self?
For me, it would be pay attention and recognize that the things that drive me crazy about Tami are the most important and most critical things that make my life full. And I have the most appreciation for the differences, and understanding that now was much more, it was very abstract.
Yeah.
And that's what I would tell myself.
I would say to my past young self, enjoy the journey, reflect even in the struggles, and learn from that, and have fun and love hard, embrace people, reach for help, and just, it's all great.
Amazing. Amazing. So good, you guys. You deserve all of the accolades. I know you've won some recent awards and been acknowledged, and you deserve all of that and more. And I know you're not done. So I just wish you continued success and impact, and just so grateful that you were willing to share your story with us today.
Thank you so much. It was fun.
Lots of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Stacey.
Stacey.
I encourage you to just take one idea from this interview and how can you apply that into your life? If that's in your relationship, maybe it's in your business right now. But all we need is just one idea well executed. So what can you take from this interview? And if you're interested in hearing more about Acclaimed, we'll link to your guys' information in the comments. I'm Stacey Berger. Here is to you living a life that you love.